Hoax joining me in all-star panel, making sense of the fact that a stabber killed an unarmed high school track star and has walked free. I've heard from the bond hearing about how the stabber's family needs to, quote, survive, how they need more money in addition to the nearly $500,000 they have raised online. But Dave Mack, I've heard very little about what the victim's family has endured on top of their son being murdered with his twin brother trying to stop the flow of blood. In addition to that, we now know there have been attacks on the victim's family, and the victim, Austin Metcalf's mother's home, was swatted. What happened?
Nancy, it's almost like a media blackout when it comes to the victim's family. At 8 o'clock at night, SWAT, they get a 911 phone call giving the address of Austin Metcalf's mother and saying somebody has been shot in the mouth. And this person stays on the phone for an extended period of time until SWAT can get out to the residence. They surround it. They build up the whole blue shield around the home. They're trying to get in touch with Austin's mother, Megan, and they can't get her on the phone. Well, her phone isn't working right now. SWAT didn't know if she had been killed. They didn't know if there were people inside the house. They sent a drone inside this house that has been swatted, Nancy, to go through every little thing. And of course, they didn't find anybody in there, and they were able to clear the home. This is how this family is mourning, going through police, coming in thinking they're being held against their will and being trashed.
Okay, let me understand, Dave Mack. You're talking about Austin Metcalf, the dead boy, his family, his mother's home was swatted. Someone calls police, an anonymous tipster, and says a victim has been shot in the mouth inside the home.
You have that 100% correct.
Maybe I'm projecting, but I recall when my fiance was murdered, I couldn't even think straight. I could barely form words. I felt like just howling like an animal. And this is a mother whose son, a twin, has been stabbed dead, who bled out in the rain at a track meet, and someone swats her home. I don't understand. Douglas Griffin joining me, senior police officer, president of the Houston Police Officers Union. That's saying a lot. 29 years on the gang task force. You've seen it all. Douglas Griffin, how is it that the victim's family has somehow become the bad guys in this scenario?
I really don't understand it. There's so many questions to this case that you sit there and look at it and go, how did this happen? You have an individual that goes to the wrong tent, not even his school, to me, it's almost like he intended to start something somewhere in there. Then on top of that, where are all the coaches and the teachers and the staff? These track events, there's people everywhere. And for this to end up the way it did is just a tragedy, and it should never have happened. And I'm still dumbfounded by the fact that he was able to get a knife into a school facility like that. And why would you have it in the first place? So there's a lot of questions here that we have to answer. We have to look at the way the school is set up, the way the tents were set up, and why it was so easy for him to pull a knife from a bag and stab a student like that.
You brought up a really good point, and I haven't thought this aspect through, and that is why, Douglas Griffin, I would spend so much time with my investigator Ernest and go over and over all the facts. I guess I knew it, but it's staring me straight in the face. Carmelo Anthony, the stabber, the confessed stabber, if he hadn't confessed to it, and by the way, I believe it's been caught on video, which I'm getting to, he's not alleged, he confessed to it.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, he walks into the tent during a track meet, carrying his bag with a knife in it. It's very clear. I mean, we've all been to high school football games and track events. It was lightly raining, so they have a tent. It's very clear whose tent is whose. There's the colors of the school on the tent. There's all the teammates from that school under the tent. They're all wearing their uniforms from that school. It may even have the school's name on the tent. So Carmelo Anthony, the stabber, walks into the tent with a concealed knife. Why? Just as you said, why would you go into the other side's tent with a knife if you were not looking for trouble? To Katie Barber joining me, content producer at mysanantonio.com, was the track event still ongoing? I take it that it was, since so many guys were still under the tent?
At the time of the stabbing, it was a rain delay. So everybody had taken a beat and they were waiting for the rain delay to be over when the fight first began.
So simply, that's a yes. The event was still ongoing. What does that mean to me? That means to me that there are going to be a lot of witnesses and everybody waiting for the rain delay to end. We're all huddled under that tent. There was no way that Anthony did not know he was going in the wrong tent. No way, with a knife.
100%.
I just wanted to clarify that. It's not like the track meet was over and everybody was gone and the only one sitting under there was Austin Metcalf, and that somehow Carmelo Anthony didn't know where he was going. No, he went into the other side's tent with a knife. Okay, Dave Mack, you mentioned that Austin's mother's home was swatted, with someone saying someone had been shot in the mouth in the home. So police swarm the place. What about threats on Austin's father?
He has been getting threats since this first began, by text messages, by phone calls. Nancy, this grieving father had a person show up at his house banging on the door, and he had to call police. He is under attack online, everywhere you can imagine. And again, the scariest thing I can think of is somebody you don't know showing up at your address knowing who you are. And that happened to him. I don't even know how you go to sleep at night knowing that people can find you and they're verbally violent towards you, and you're the victim.
I just don't understand how this has gotten so bass-backwards. Neither family is the bad guy. Carmelo Anthony's family, not the bad guy. The victim's family, certainly not the bad guy. So how has the victim's family turned into the scapegoat here? Why is the mom's house getting swatted? Why is the dad getting threats, people showing up, bamming on his door? In the last 72 hours, they have put their son in the ground. They have been to his funeral. I can't even imagine anything worse than that. I want you to listen to the dad, Jeff Metcalf, with Fox 4.
And his brother was holding him, trying to hold the blood in. And he passed. My son watched his brother die in his arms.
The father, Jeff Metcalf, describing the moment his son Austin was stabbed dead at a high school track meet. That from our friends at Fox 4 Dallas Fort Worth News. Please join us on our mission to find missing people, especially children, to solve unsolved homicides. If you're on the go, catch us on your favorite podcast app, where you can get all of our content, where we, in our own way, seek justice.
Friends and family mourn as they gather for 17-year-old Austin Metcalf's funeral after the Texan teen is stabbed to death in the bleachers at a high school track meet.
And joining me, psychologist, mediator, specializing in forensic psychology, Dr. John Delatorre. Dr. Delatorre, thank you for being with us. I have learned during the night that the father of Austin Metcalf stated that he feels forgiveness toward the killer and that he has actually been attacked because he felt forgiveness. He wanted to forgive, but I've learned through another source, he says he forgives Anthony, Carmelo Anthony, the stabber, as much for Anthony, but for himself, because he doesn't want to be consumed with hate. But what I don't understand is why people are attacking him for speaking about forgiveness and attacking the victim's family. What is happening, Dr. Delatorre?
I think when it comes to these individuals that are willing to co-opt the hate that Mr. Metcalf is trying to move past. Now, that's a strong man. His son just died. That's a strong man to say, you know what? I see that Carmelo Anthony is not a villain in this story. I don't want to hold hate in my heart. That's going to keep me down. My son, Austin, wouldn't want that. But there are other individuals who would say, no, you have to be angry. You have to be mad. And I'm going to show you what it means when you act mad. So they're trying to co-opt this tragedy, right? And make people understand that the only thing to feel is hate. And Mr. Metcalf doesn't want any of that. But because he doesn't want any of that, and these people expect him to feel it, they're now willing to target him for not feeling the way that they expect him to feel, the way that they want to feel.
With the family in mourning and trying to fight off personal attacks on the mom, the dad, the home, the job, we are learning in a probative development tonight that there is video of the stabbing. Listen.
They have collected video.
So it is video of the incident?
Yes, they have collected video.
Oh.
There is video of the actual stabbing?
There is video, there are several different videos that they verified.
That is from our friends at Next Generation Action Network. Okay, straight out to Katie Barber joining us, digital content producer, mysanantonio.com. Katie, what can you tell me about potential video of the stabbing?
It's the first time that we've heard about video so far in this case. There has been nothing in any of the police reports, interviews from police in the initial incident about any of this video. This is a very new development, and it'll be a really big development in the case if it can actually shed some light on the altercation itself and corroborate the details of.
You were just hearing Dominique Alexander, spokesperson for the Carmelo Anthony family, stating upon questioning, the question is, there is video of the actual stabbing? And Alexander responds, there is video. There are several different videos that they verified. Sounds like to me we'll find that not in the initial police report, but in a supplemental report, which details the investigation once the original police report is taken. I mean, think about it.